Welcome, welcome, welcome. So if you can hear this song, then it means that you are in already. You can drop your comments if you can hear the song playing. Just drop your comments so I know that you can hear. Okay, welcome tonight. Welcome. Get started. Thank you for joining me this evening. I'm excited to be doing this. If you can hear me, just drop some comments in the chat box. Say hello. Just type hello, hello, or hi, hi. Just let me know if you're with me and if you can hear me. Music has stopped now. All right, so let me get started without wasting much of your time. Welcome to this particular session tonight. I'm reaching out to you live from the city of Lagos, Nigeria. And one of the things that I hope we'll be able to achieve tonight is that you would leave this session, right, understanding fully well what resilience is all about and how you can effectively build your resilience. Now we are at that time in our lives where things seem like they are not going to return to normal. We are being told to start practicing certain things that we have never been used to before now, but we have no choice than to practice them because that is where we have found ourselves. We have no choice than to practice them. We have no choice than to put those things into practice. And so we are forced, right, to actually put ourselves in that condition. So I'm going to dive right in. Let me share my screen with you. No, this is not the right one. Not the right one. Just a minute. Okay, got it now. Okay, great. So we're looking at building resilience for well-being. Building resilience for well-being. This is why we are here tonight. This is why we are gathered, all right, today to actually learn resilience. Okay, now this is not a one size fits all. This is not something that once you learn it today, you automatically become a champion. No, it takes processes, it takes a while for you to actually be that champ when it comes to building resilience. It doesn't just happen overnight. It doesn't just happen to you just like that. It takes a while. It takes practice, all right, over time for you to actually become a champ at resilience. But the most important thing is that you already have the understanding of what exactly it is that you want to do, the understanding of what exactly resilience is all about. All right. And with this, you are able to begin the process, are able to put into use that particular style or that particular part of your life. So let's dive right in to this process or this activity. So today's outline, we'll be looking at different things. First of all, who is this guy that is talking to you? Who is this guy that is speaking to you across the oceans, depending on where you're listening to me from different part of the world? And then we're going to do definition of terms. We need to understand certain terminologies that have to do with building resilience, right? And then we are going to look at how do you build resilience. Then we'll look at the concept of resilience. Now, it's important that we understand all these concepts, right? So that we are able to know what is said of us, understand how to actually go about this entire process in itself. Now, the necessity of this is that you know who is delivering this to you, and then you have in mind what exactly it is that you're going to be doing tonight. So, who is Toluse Francis? Toluse Francis is an author, is a writer, is a therapist, is a life coach. He's a founder of Real Consulting and is a director at the World Federation for Mental Health. He has written several books, and some of them include Beyond Blue, which has to do with depression and grief. Some other ones are Eat Fit. Then you have Here's How to Break Out Stress, and then you have How to Love Yourself. And as a life coach, he's a certified and licensed life coach, and so he offers services to people, all right, so that they can all be who they really want to be, and then they can be their very best at everything that they do. At the World Federation for Mental Health, I'm responsible for representing the African region when it's time to make decisions at the board level. In case you don't know, the World Federation for Mental Health is the international body, right, that is responsible for the World Mental Health Day. It's responsible for the World Mental Health Day. And so the World Mental Health Day, the topic and everything is being brought to you by the World Federation for Mental Health, and also the Congress that holds every November. The World Mental Health Congress is being organized by the World Federation for Mental Health. And so that's just basically what my role is at that particular point. But of course, we are not here today to hear about me. We are not here today to just know my name or what I do. We're actually here today to learn. So let's dive right in. 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 Okay, so let me leave you with this food of thought, first of all, that says, I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it. The things that we experience, the things that happen to us can actually change us. Just because it can dictate our thinking, it can dictate how we interpret things that happen to us. They can dictate how we see ourselves and how we rate ourselves. They can dictate what we tell ourselves, which are actually scripts and stories that we are telling ourselves. But you can refuse to be reduced by those things. You can make a decision that you will not be reduced by the things that are trying to change you. What this helps you to do is that it allows you to make informed decisions. It allows you to ensure that the things that happen to you are not the things that are breaking you. The things that are happening to you are not the things that are destroying you. Oftentimes, we find ourselves at difficult situations and we make decisions based on how we feel at that point in time. But you realize that making decisions based on how you feel may not be the very best decision or the best action for you, because you'll be making those decisions based on your emotions and based on what you're experiencing at that particular point in time. All right. And so it's very important, okay, that you do not uh, find yourself at that position where the things that have happened to you, okay, or the things that you have experienced are now beginning to determine your behavior or your actions. And that's why that quote right there says that I can be changed by the things that happen to me, right? But I choose not to be reduced by them. It's a decision that you have to make. It doesn't happen by accident. You have to be deliberate about it. And part of being deliberate, or the reason why you need to be deliberate and how you can be deliberate, is what we are going to be looking at together tonight. For everyone who has joined me, thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's move on. So, what is resilience? Resilience is the ability to recover from tough situations or circumstances. It's your ability to recover from tough situations or circumstances. It's the ability to withstand adversity and bounce back and grow despite life's downturns. It's your ability to withstand adversity and bounce back, as well as grow despite life's downturns. I mean, for a while now, we have been looking at COVID-19 here and there, different experiences, different things that we have encountered in the course of the pandemic. All right, and these has in one way or the other shaped us, okay, and put us in a particular position that we never even thought would ever have found ourselves. All right, that's a tough situation. How many of us How many of us prepared for such a situation? Perhaps none of us, but that's where we have found ourselves today. We have found ourselves at that point where things seem tough for us, things seem difficult for us, and in as much as we didn't plan those things, we have had no choice than to live with them. We have had no choice than to embrace them. We have had no choice than to keep living in that moment. And so we need to build that resilience. That resilience is the ability to recover from tough situations or circumstances, for you to withstand adversity and bounce back and grow despite those life downturns. And so it's very important, right, that you put in mind that it's not just that you're able to withstand the adversity, all right, but they're also able to bounce back and grow. Tough things happen to us, difficult things happen to us, things that we never really thought would even happen. How do you handle those moments? What happens afterwards? You lose a loved one. What happens afterwards? Do you remain there crying every day of your life, or do you remind yourself, sorry about that, or do you remind yourself that life continues and you have to get yourself back up and perhaps live on with the legacy that such a person has left behind? Resilience basically means that you're able to bounce back. All right, it's the ability for you to withstand that adversity, bounce back from difficult life events. Being resilient does not mean that people don't experience stress, emotional upheaval, and suffering. Some people equate resilience with mental toughness, but demonstrating resilience includes working through emotional pain and suffering. What resilience basically means that even though the situation is tough, even though things are not going as you have expected them to be or to go, but you know that you're going to walk through them and you're going to come out a better person. the emotional pain, the suffering in which you find yourself, you understand that they are just phases in your life, they are just experiences in your life that do not determine who you are, except you choose that they will determine who you are. And so you begin to find yourself at that point, and then you realize that um, it's very key, okay, that you put yourself together and ensure that you keep going. All right. And why does resilience matter? Resilience is important because it gives people the strength needed to process and overcome hardship. Resilience gives people the strength needed to process and overcome hardship. I cannot guarantee you that hardship will not come. I cannot guarantee you that difficult situations will not come your way. What I can guarantee you is that if you build yourself up, if you are resilient, right, you find yourself bouncing through, you find yourself coming out of the current situation a better person. But if you do not build that within you, you would find it difficult to even bounce back. You find it difficult to even be that person that you really want to be. And so resilience is important for it to give you that strength. When things happen, when tough things happen, resilience ensures that you keep going. Resilience ensures that you are not giving up. Those lacking resilience get easily overwhelmed and may turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms. They may find themselves turning to unhealthy coping mechanisms because they are not resilient. Usually, when people find themselves in situations like that they did not plan for or they did not prepare for, it becomes very difficult for them to keep going. It becomes very difficult for them to even maintain who they are. And then you find people picking up habits, and you are surprised that was this person ever doing this? That this person was this person ever in this kind of situation? Or I never knew that this person was such a person like this or had this character. Because you had not really seen them at that particular low moment of their lives. You have not seen them at that point in their lives where they are how do I put it now? Where they are not so strong to keep going. And so when you find them at that point, you're shocked and you're surprised that this person, right, can actually do such a thing. Is because they have not built this resilience over time. And you see, like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. No, resilience doesn't happen overnight. It's something that you build over the course of time. It's something that you build over the course of time. It's something that becomes part and parcel of you as you grow, right? As you grow, and you begin to face circumstances that dictate or that want to dictate to you how you should live, all right, but you're able to deal with them and you're able to handle them. And that doesn't happen by chance. Last week in my podcast, I shared a story of Martha who had a bad experience as a student. So Martha had resumed or gained admission into the school with an awaiting result for one of her papers, English language precisely. Now, what happened was the school had given her the admission with the hope that she's going to sort out the result that was withheld before her final year. But what happened was both the school and Martha forgot, and everybody went their way. Alas, they were waiting for Martha in her final year. And so in the final year, when they were going through her results, the way they do for every final year student. We're going through her result, and then they realized that no, this particular student has an incomplete result. And so because of that, they told her that she won't be graduating with her mate and she won't be graduating that year. That could be such a painful experience for someone who was actually on her way to making a first class. But one of the things that stood out for Martha is that she didn't give up. She left the school, went back, wrote the exam again. It took her 2 years because she had to raise funds from her petty trading. All right, and I came back, studied the course she wanted to study, set up her own business, and boom, the rest is history. Today, that was resilience at work. she didn't give up. Those lacking resilience get easily overwhelmed and may turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms. Martha didn't go through that. Resilient people tap into their strength and support systems to overcome challenges and work through problems. I'm going to share a story of someone who experienced this, having a support system and identifying the strength that she had, and she used that to her advantage to bounce back from a particular situation. Now, there are two factors that drive our resilience. Two factors. There's the internal factor and there is the external factor. There's the internal factor and the external factors that drive our resilience. Of course, from the name internal, you will know that this has to come from within. This has to come from within. And for external, external has to do with your surroundings, has to do with those who are within you, things from outside your body. They are not within your body system. So let's look at these internal factors. There are just two of them: self-control and self-confidence. Self-control and self-confidence. For self-control, you have flexibility, ability to cope, adaptability, acceptance, and willpower. Under self-control, what this means is the internal factor for resilience, one of them is self-control, which means that you're flexible, right? You're flexible. You don't flare up because you are feeling bad. You don't flare up because things are not going the way you've expected them to be. No, you're able to hold yourself together and you're able to move on. You're able to adjust to the current situation that you have found yourself. That's actually what it means to have that particular skill, that internal skill, right, in which you're able to put yourself, in the face of that. But when it comes to your flexibility, and then you also have what we call ability to cope. You're able to cope. You are not tied down. You are not grumbling or lamenting because certain things are not going your way. No, you have the ability to cope. You accept the situation, but it doesn't mean that you remain there. It doesn't mean that you just lie there and say, well, this has happened, life continues. No, you look at the situation, you accept it, and then you put your willpower to use and work towards changing that particular situation. The next point, the next factor when it comes to internal factor, the next component of the internal factor when it comes to resilience is self-confidence. Self-confidence. You have this strength. You know that you have the strength. You are self-reliant. You are confident in yourself. You're determined. You are resourceful. You're able to persevere. You have the courage. You have the optimism, and you have humor. You see, the truth of the matter is, you don't have to be a comedian for you to be humorous. You don't have to be a comedian for you to be able to create humor, right? It should be part of you. As social beings, we should have that sense of humor. And you wake up every morning with some sense of optimism, knowing fully well that this is not the end of it for you. This is just a particular phase for you, right? You have courage, you're able to persevere. Now, for external factors, you have what we call personal relationships. Personal relationships. I tell people that you cannot do without having relationships. You just must build relationships. We need relationships to keep going. We are not made without feelings. We have feelings, we have emotions running in our system. And so you need people, you need friends, you need loved ones, you need colleagues and others that fall within that circle. The another component of the external factor is purpose and meaning. You need things that would motivate you or inspire you. You need those things that will motivate you or inspire you. You cannot just remain there. When difficult things come your way, when bad things come your way, when tough situations come your way, you need something to keep you going. You need something to keep pushing you. You cannot afford to just remain at that point and say, look, I'm not even doing anymore. I give up. I'm done with this thing that is happening in my life. No, you get yourself up and you start moving. So those are the two factors, right, that affect us or that play a role in resilience, the internal factor and the external factor. And I've said that under the internal factor, you have two components. Under the external factor, you have two components as well, which is self-control and self-confidence. If you notice that in the internal factor, you have self. I mean, it has to do with you. Like I said, it's from within. It doesn't involve external parties. It's from within you that those things have to come. And then you have personal relationships, meaning and purpose under the external factors of resilience. Okay. Next, let's look at examples of resilience. Resilience can be classified into certain categories, all right, and one of them is you have emotional resilience. Now, emotional resilience has to do with when a person can tap into realistic optimism even when dealing with a crisis. The person is optimistic, right? Even when in the midst of crisis, the person is very optimistic and the person is not giving up. The other one that you have is physical resilience. This refers to the body's ability to adapt to challenges and recover quickly. Then you have community resilience. This refers to the ability of groups of people to respond to and recover from adverse situations such as natural disasters, acts of violence, or economic hardship. So you have emotional resilience, you have physical resilience, and you have community resilience. I hope we are still together. I hope we are still grinding together. I hope you have not left me. Yeah, let's keep it going. Now we'll look at another phase or another aspect of resilience, and that's the 7 C's. The 7 C's of resilience. Now, these C's stand for some acronyms, all right? They are the first letters of certain things that plays a role in resilience, but they start with the letter C. All right, let's get into that quickly. So you have learning competence. You have to learn competence. They help us. The 7 C's of resilience help us to build our inner strength, irrespective of age, irrespective of gender, irrespective of social status, right? They help us to build our inner strength at every point in time. So you have learning competence, you have confidence, you have coping, you have connection, you have control, you have character, and you have contribution. You can see that they all have a C attached to them. All these are the 7 C's of resilience, right? Learning competence. You learn to be competent. You learn competence. Nobody gives it to you free of charge. You have to learn it. And then you have to learn confidence. So confidence is part of it. Then you have coping, you have control, you have connection, you have character, you have contribution. If you take these 7 C's and then you come back to these internal and external factors, you realize that they are interrelated. Because if you look at it, self-control and self-confidence has different components. And then you look at personal relationships, purpose and meaning, they have different components as well. And if you now bring all of them together to the 7 C's of resilience, you realize that they actually do relate with each other. And so you would see that these are very, very important indeed if we really want to build resilience. These are very important if we really want to build resilience. All right. So how can I make myself more resilient? So it's understandable if you are not resilient at the moment. Nobody is beating you for that. Nobody is flogging you for that. It's understandable. But the question maybe asking yourself right now is, how can I make myself more resilient? How can I arrive at that point where I can own this resilience and be myself? Good question. Now, look at factors that can help people process trauma and become more adaptable, to include social support, realistic planning, self-esteem, coping skills, communication skills, and emotional regulation. Now, to make yourself more reliant, there are certain factors that help people process trauma and become more adaptable. And these factors include social support, realistic planning, self-esteem, coping skills, communication skills, and emotional regulation. You see, you cannot throw away emotional regulation when it comes to resilience. It's necessary, right? Because you need to regulate your feeling, you need to regulate your responses. Because resilience also teaches you that you are not responding based on how you're feeling. And so COVID-19 is tough. COVID-19 is difficult. Things are not the way you have expected them to be. And so your well-being is being threatened. Your well-being is being questioned. Your mental health is going through challenges, right? And you are trying to hold on to yourself. And that's why you are listening today to building resilience and and well-being. All right. So you need social support. Your family members, your friends, your colleagues can serve as your social support. You need to be realistic in your planning. Know what works, know what can work and what can't work. Don't just live in dreamland. No, wake up, wake up. Your self-esteem is critical. You can't allow someone to damage your self-esteem. Hold on to it tightly. Coping skills, you need to learn coping skills. You need to improve your communication skills and your emotional regulation. Now, the good news is that resilience is not a fixed trait. Resilience is not a fixed trait, right? It's something that you improve upon time after time. You can build or bolster resilience by changing thoughts and behaviors and also finding your inner strength. Talking about behavior, uh, whether we like it or not, behaviors are part of us. We pick up behaviors, we pick up attitudes, we pick up characters from people either deliberately or accidentally. All right. And so we pick up some of these things and then they become part and parcel of us. And sometimes because you're not paying attention to them, we don't even know if these things are helping us or not. We don't know if they're affecting us or not. And so it's important that you pay attention to your habits. So you need to understand that resilience is not cast in stone, it's not fixed, right? It's not fixed. You grow with it time after time. You grow time after time. You improve time upon time. So don't feel bad that someone is at a certain point and you are not there yet. No, don't feel bad. You're growing gradually, and you really find yourself at that height and that level that you want to get to with time. Okay, so let's move on. Strategies for building resilience. These are time-tested and proven techniques. If you want to share this live stream with friends, you can just copy the link and share with them right now. It's free to share. So let's look at strategies for building resilience and time-tested, proven techniques. Now, I'm going to say this right here, that nothing here is easy, right? It's not easy for you to build this resilience or to put these strategies to work, but they are necessary. They are necessary if you really want to make a headway. They are necessary if you really want to be at that point where things don't shake you, things don't move you, things don't make you go gaga and then you feel like you are coming to an end. No, because you need to understand that where you are is a journey. You are not there yet. You are not there yet. You are not there yet. You are on a journey. All right. So I thought I should let you know that nothing here is easy. So what are these strategies? First one is maintaining and forming relationships. Look, I can't say this enough. You cannot live a solitude life. You cannot live a solitary life. You cannot live all by yourself. You cannot say people don't matter in your life. You need to understand that you need people. You need to understand that you are created, you are made, you are formed, your gene, your body system says that you need to interact with people for you to have a good life. And so you cannot afford to throw that away. You must learn to live with people, you must learn to form relationships, and you must learn to actually live together with people. So, having said that, the next one is that you must have a positive attitude. You must have a positive attitude. You must have a positive attitude. Now, what does this do to you? Now, having a positive attitude even invites people or encourages people to want to interact with you. It gives people the opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I want to be part of what this person is doing. I want to check on this person. I want to be in the circle of this person. Because if that isn't done, you realize that everybody will just leave you. And and that's why sometimes people find themselves at that point where they feel nobody cares about them. They feel nobody looks after them. But the question is, are you even making it easy for people to check on you? Are you making it easy for people to even value you? Are you making it easy for people to even interact with you? Some of you, your attitude is enough to throw people away. Some of you, you are like a dustbin. You are just taking and taking. You are not even giving. You need to have a positive attitude. Next is taking control. You know, the other time we talked about self-control, other the internal factors for resilience. We talked about self-control, and we said that you need to have self-control for you to be able to build resilience. And here again, we are talking about taking control. Now, taking control simply means you are not allowing anybody to determine how you feel or how you are going to respond to situations. You are taking situations by the on. You are responding, you know, in your own way. So let me explain something here. In the brain, there's what we call the amygdala, and the amygdala allows you to make informed decision when things happen. But you know what happens when, for example, you step on someone and the person slaps you immediately without even asking you what happened, or someone does something and you look at the way the person has reacted and you are shocked that the person has reacted in such a manner. What has simply happened is is that the person's amygdala has been hijacked, and so the person wasn't thinking when he or she was behaving or reacting. And so you don't want to live that kind of life. You don't want to live just a reactive life. You want to live a life that is purposeful. You want your response to be real. You want your response to be strategic. You want your response to be informed, that even if you look back, you know, after that response, you will tell yourself that yes, Toluse, Charles, you did well, right? In physics, we are taught that for every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction, right? And what that means is there's always a reaction to every action, but it might be opposite. And I remember one of the things that he taught us then in secondary school physics was recoil of a gun. That when you fire a gun, right, there's an opposite force that pulls you back. And so unless you have mastered shooting, the tendency is there that the gun would even fall off your hand or you yourself will fall. All right, so you need to take control of yourself and learn to react properly rather than reacting just the way your situation is dictating to you. Then you need to understand that you need to keep working at it. You need to keep working at it. You don't arrive at resilience just at one day. You don't get toughened to situations just one day. No, it's a journey. It's a journey that you embark upon. It's a journey that you find yourself in. It's a journey that you begin and you don't give up. The next is exercise. You see, sometimes people think that exercising is tough, or it has to be one big thing or one gigantic exercise like that. No, no, no. You see, exercising could be as simple as taking a walk down your street. Exercising could be as simple as strolling rather than going by the bus or driving. Exercising can be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be something huge. You don't have to go jogging from one end of the state to another, or one end of your city to another. No, it's little steps, that bring you to that point that you really want to get to. So you keep at it. Relaxation is the next point. It's important that you relax, right? They say that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, but I would say that all work and no rest, right, makes Jack a dying soul, right? All work and no rest makes Jack a weak soul. All work and no rest and no relaxation makes Jack, right, a weeping body, right? So you need to understand that it's necessary for you to relax, right? Relax. And then finally, acceptance. When things happen to you, or if things have happened to you, accept that they have happened. Don't deny that it did not happen. Accept that it happened, right? And because they have happened, move with it, right? Move with it and be the best that you can be while you are at it. Move with it. Accept that it has happened. One key thing is that when you keep denying the things that have happened to you, when you keep denying the things that you're going through, it is difficult for you to move to the next phase. It becomes difficult for you to move to the next phase. And so you need to accept that these things have happened, right? And bring yourself to that point of saying, so what's next for me? Where do I move to next, right? Now, so look at this. Skills for building resilience. Skills for building resilience. Now, these are skills that you need to build resilience. One is remain calm. Remain calm, which means you have to be consciously aware, right? Living in the moment. Be aware. You have to be consciously aware of what is happening around you. You have to be consciously aware of where you are. You have to be consciously aware and remain calm while you are that. Remain calm while you are consciously aware of that situation that you have found yourself. Next is use your body as feedback. Use your body as feedback. Use your body as feedback. Your mind and body are one. I mean, I always say that you cannot separate your body from your mind, because both of them work hand in hand. If there is something wrong with you in your mind, it's going to affect how you would move your body. It's going to affect how you would approach your activities for the day. And so you can't separate them. And so you need to use your body as feedback. If you're feeling tired, you need to ask yourself, what is wrong with me? All right. If you're feeling pumped up, you need to ask yourself, what exactly is happening to my day? Why am I feeling all pumped up? So use your body as feedback. Accept what is with optimism. What that means is embrace change. Embrace change. Things will happen and changes will come. Embrace it. Embrace it. Embrace it. Don't throw it all away. Don't feel like the world is wicked. No. Embrace the change. Embrace the things that are happening within you, and be optimistic that they are here to make you a better person. Be optimistic that you will use this situation, all right, for your good. That these things are happening for your good and not against you. So accept what is happening, accept it, right? But be optimistic about it, and be optimistic that change would come. Nourish yourself, eat well, sleep well, play well, socialize well. Yes, there is lockdown, you're unable to go to your usual joint and all that. Do hang out with your friends and families. Nourish yourself, feed your soul. Feed your soul, feed your soul. And you feed your soul with certain things that you do. You feed your soul with the kind of food that you eat. Enjoy the food that you eat. You feed your soul by listening to the kind of music that you love. Turn on the music and dance. Just nourish yourself, right? Build resilience by nourishing your mind and body. Okay, exercise helps you nourish your body. Enjoying the love of people around you allows you to nourish your soul, nourish your mind. Don't starve yourself. Don't starve yourself of joy and happiness. If there is anything that is happening to you that you're unhappy about, Free yourself from it. Let it go. Let it go, because you really need to nourish yourself. You need to nourish yourself. You cannot afford to be malnourished. You cannot afford to not pay attention to yourself. All right. So if there are things that doing them would make you happy, go ahead and do them. To build resilience requires a well-nourished mind-body complex. Next is build positive social relationships. Now, this social network and not social media. I'm not referring to social media here. I'm saying build positive social relationships. Social relationships. Interact with people. Have real friends. Social media does not mean that they are your real friends. Your followers, it doesn't mean that those are your real friends. Have real friends. Have friends who care. Have friends who matter. Have friends who are there for you. Have those that you can call your friends. If you like, have 20,000 followers, have 15,000 friends on your 15,000 contacts that read your WhatsApp status every day. Those are not necessarily your friends. You need to build positive social relationships, people who are impacting your life socially and positive, people who are bringing positive changes to your life, people who are not corrupting you, people who are not making you go back home every day and ask yourself, what did I just do today? Did that even make sense at all? People who are not allowing you question your value system that you have set for yourself or your morals. People that don't make you go to bed every night to ask yourself, come, what is even wrong with you, self? Is this how you want to live your life? Build positive social relationships. Next is find your purpose in life. What are your intentions? Why are you existing? Why are you doing the things you're doing? The job you picked up, why did you pick it up? The course you study, if you're a student, why am I studying this course? The country you have moved to, what exactly do I want to do in this country? The one you're planning to leave, why exactly do I want to leave? Find your purpose in life. I know that the issue of purpose, the subject of purpose, has been overflogged at different times by different people. But hey, you need to really ask yourself, what exactly is my purpose? What exactly is my purpose? Why exactly am I on this planet? What exactly do I want to do with my life? If you're not able to answer that question, then you need to find yourself into a coaching program. You need to find yourself into a coaching program, because you need to understand what your purpose really is. A lot of people are just living anyhow, and they are confused about their life. They don't know why they are where they are. It's fine, it's understandable, right? But the truth is, you can make amends. And that's why I usually offer life coaching to people, that look, it's possible that you don't even know what it is that you want. It's possible that you don't even understand the situation in which you have found yourself. It's okay. You're not the first person to find yourself in that particular scenario. There are a number of people who have been there before, and some are still there right now. But how you can begin by asking what your intentions are the things that you are doing. All right. Practice your skills. Life is a practice, so enjoy the process. There are things that you need to practice. They don't come to you just like that. You want to get better at something, practice, practice, practice. Keep practicing, and you will get better. You don't get better overnight. You get better by practicing. Life is a practice. Life is a process. Enjoy it. Go through it. You see, I was telling someone recently that we see people on social media flash their expensive lifestyle to our faces and make some people who are grinding, trying to make ends meet, feel like they have not arrived, and there is nothing that they can do to that. I'm sorry, but the truth of the matter is, you must be able to understand how people arrived where they arrived, how people arrived where they are right now. And that's why you need to understand that life is a process. Nothing happens by accident. So what are the domains of resilience? There are 6 domains of resilience, 6 beautiful domains of resilience, 6 beautiful domains of resilience. We are just onto an hour, about 3 minutes into an hour. So you have vision, right? Vision talks about purpose, goals, and congruence. Purpose, goals, and congruence. That's vision. And you might begin to wonder that why is it important for us to have vision. Now, the truth of the matter is vision drives us, right? Vision is that thing that keeps us going. Vision is why you wake up every morning, okay, and you ask yourself, what is it that I am doing, or why am I even doing this that I'm doing today? Vision drives you. Vision keeps you going, right? Vision keeps you going. And so you understand that vision is very important. And so the first thing that you have there under domains of resilience is vision. And vision talks about purpose, goals, and congruence. Purpose, goals, and congruence. Let me see if I can explain that briefly. Let me see. Just a minute. Okay, so let me just expand on that briefly. And so under vision, like I said, we talk about purpose, goals, and congress, and then you're looking at what are vision is about your sense of purpose, goals, and personal vision for your life. It's the reason this is the most important domain is that all other domains are guided by what it is that you want to achieve. Vision allows you to have clarity, and once you have that clarity, it allows you to put into practice every other domain, because clarity keeps you focused, right? It's very easy to get distracted by unimportant details and events. And if you don't have anything specific you're working towards, you're going to lose focus. You're going to get distracted, and that's why vision is key, right? It's very important. I don't know if you have watched House of Cards. You see how the person had vision, all right? He had the clarity of what he wanted. Okay, congruence is the name of the game. Congruence means that all your actions are working together across your larger vision of yourself and sense of purpose through your medium and short-term goals. I'll take that again. Congruence means that all your actions are working together across your larger vision of yourself and sense of purpose through medium and short-term goals. When you don't have clarity on your goals, it is likely that some of your goals may conflict with each other, resulting in frustration. And so instead, if your actions are aligned, everything you do slowly moves towards your ultimate goals. And that's why you must have had a vision before now. And when you have that vision, then you're able to get clarity towards the vision. Once you have the clarity, then everything that you do begins to make sense. And then you have what we call congruence. Now, the next is composure. Now, composure is about regulating your emotions, right? The fight or flight response of the brain loves to flare up when you're facing conflict, right? Or you're hearing about a sudden change at work. There's a way your body responds, all right? But under composure, it's about regulating your emotions. You're able to regulate your emotions. This, if you look at this again, this takes you back to what we talked about the other time about self-control, right? You're able to regulate your emotions, and you don't become very emotional, because that can prevent you from properly assessing your ability to think critically, because you need to think critically. You need to practice critical thinking, and that's why you need to be composed by regulating your emotions. Composure is not just the big crisis that we face, right? But also even the little things that we do every day. Getting emotional in a traffic jam is never useful. I mean, you scream, you shout at the person and all that. So why do you get all worked up? I mean, I was saying this on an Instagram live recently that, look, the actions that we put forward sometimes in traffic here in Lagos, sometimes I ask myself that after all the screams and everything, at the end of the day, the person apologizes and you all move on. You see men remove their ties on the road and so on. So you need to ask yourself, why do I get all worked up? Because, I mean, what does it say about me? What does it say about your composure when you flare up in public, right? You move your tie and everything, and then you're screaming. Maintaining composure means keeping calm so you can save your energy for what is important. That's what it means. Interpretation bias is important. Interpretation bias, you need to be able to interpret things properly. So let's say your boss walks up to you and says, I need to talk to you. Come see me later. Do you panic? If you begin to panic, then there's a problem. Do you worry about getting into trouble for something or getting fired? The statement from your boss in this example is actually neutral with no direct implied negativity. He has just made a statement of, wait, I need to talk to you, come see me later. And then you begin to panic, right? So it's interpretation that you have given to that statement that determines how you're going to react to that statement. What does the statement mean to you, right? If the statement means to you that you're about to be punished or something, then you're going to panic, right? But if you interpret it as a normal conversation or a normal request, nothing would happen. You say, okay, sir, let me know when you want to see me, right? It could just as easily be good news. Now, research has shown that a natural inclination to negatively interpret ambiguous situations makes people 6 times more likely to show symptoms of depression, while a positive interpretation bias results in higher resilience. I'll take that again. Very important. Research shows that a natural inclination to negatively interpret ambiguous situations makes people 6 times more likely to show symptoms of depression, while a positive interpretation bias results in higher resilience. Hope you got that. And the final one under that is you need to be proactive. Composure is not just about being able to return to a state of poise or finesse, but it's also about considering your own beliefs and expectations that produce emotions in the first place. And so you need to be proactive. If you expect that nothing will ever go wrong with your project, then you are likely to be in for a big shock. Now compare that with a healthier belief that most likely something will go wrong, and when it does, you will manage it. It's easier, right, to expect anything, right? But then you're prepared for that thing. You know that things might happen. You don't go on a big project, tell yourself that nothing. Because you have told yourself nothing, which is good, I agree, nothing. But you see, because you have told yourself nothing, when something happens, you're likely thrown off guard and you begin to feel terrible. Okay. But when you tell yourself that, look, you know what, I'm in this, and let's just prepare ourselves in case anything happens, then you're ready for it. Then you have reasoning. Reasoning talks about creativity and innovative problem solving. They are very useful when you're facing challenges along the way. And this is what the reasoning domain is all about. This domain needs composure for you to keep your cool, as well as vision, so you know what goals to direct your actions towards. The next one is anticipate and plan. Anticipate and plan. You need to anticipate and you need to plan, right? Be resourceful. Be resourceful. Don't just sit down there expecting that someone would hand things to you just like that. No, be resourceful. See opportunity in change. See opportunity in change. When there's a change, see that as an opportunity for you to bring yourself on board. See opportunity in change. Next is tenacity. The next domain is tenacity. Under tenacity, you have persistence. Now, persistence is very key. I mean, Albert Einstein pointed out that the importance of persistence for success when he said that it is not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer. You know, you're familiar with what happened to Albert Einstein, how many times he tried getting the bulb, right? And he was saying that, look, it's not that I am exceptionally smart, but it's just that I spend so much time with problems. I don't give up on problems. I don't give up on situations. I ensure that I remain there until I get a solution. I mean, go and read how many times he worked on the electric bulb until he got a solution. Some of you are quick to give up. Some of you are quick to give up on what you're doing. Just because it's not working, you give up. The reason why some of you are still stuck at paid employment is because you are scared that you will fail. The reason why some of you go to work every day and you grumble is because you are not even able to accept change that is happening in your organization. Now, I'm not saying that if you feel abused at work, then you should remain there. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that you need to be persistent, all right, and keep going. If you're running a business and it doesn't seem like you're getting there, keep going. Don't give up. Keep going, right? Keep going, keep going. Learn from your mistakes. When you make mistakes, learn from them. Learn from them. Don't beat yourself so hard. Learn and move on. Learn and move on. Rarely will we do things right the first time. And even when doing something we know well, eventually we will make mistakes. I was watching a movie recently, and an intern made an error, okay, and she was about to be punished severely. And so a senior doctor made a statement and said, look, we all make mistakes. I've made mistakes as a resident. I've made mistakes here and there. You have made mistakes. But the difference is we shielded ourselves from these mistakes, but this person came out to talk about it and accept that it was a mistake. Mistakes creep in everywhere. So what's important is how we react to them. And that's my mantra is leave your past behind. Leave your past behind and embrace your future. Embrace the change that has come. You make mistakes, accept it, take the corrections, and move on. Don't sleep on your mistakes. Move on. Don't be naive. Have realistic optimism. Be very realistic when you're optimistic. Don't have your optimism being a facade. No, it's good to be optimistic, but you also need to understand that your optimism needs to be realistic. Your optimism needs to be real, needs to be true. Research shows that people that are overly optimistic about succeeding are less likely to, since they tend to give up at the first sign of trouble. I hope you heard that. Research shows that people who are overly optimistic about succeeding are less likely to. And you know why? That's because they tend to give up at the first sign of trouble. They just go all in and they don't even prepare themselves for trouble. They seem to forget that they are not the only ones in that circle. They're not the only ones doing that. And so you need to prepare yourself, right? And prepare your mind for that situation, for that scenario. So don't be naive, right? Have realistic optimism, okay? Then you have the next one, collaboration. Don't forget, we are looking at the 6 domains of resilience. Now we have looked at vision, we have looked at composure, right? We have looked at optimism. Right now we are looking at collaboration. Like I said, we are social beings, and so there is need for collaboration as social beings. The brain has a deep fundamental need for connection with others to be able to thrive. The brain has dedicated neural structures to recognize facial expressions, while mirror neurons fire within the brain to help us empathize with others. So your brain is telling you that, look, you need people to be in this with you. You are not supposed to be in this all alone. All right. So you need collaboration. And that's what the collaboration domain is all about, telling us that we are social beings. Support people so you can be supported. Support people so you can be supported. Get context right. Don't misinterpret people. If you don't understand, ask questions. You don't understand what people are saying or what somebody has said, ask questions. Don't assume you know. No, don't assume you know. Ask questions. A key part of collaboration is understanding the context of your interaction with people. Having a meeting with people at work and spending time with friends on the weekend are 2 different contexts. So, for example, at work, it's more important to focus on facts than on emotion. But at home, it's not always about the facts. It's the emotion, because they'll tell you this is family. So it's very important, right, that you understand the context in which you're operating. And so you need to score very high in collaboration. Work on your collaboration. Ensure that you build on your collaboration. Don't give up on your collaboration. Pay attention to it. All right. Pay attention to your collaboration. Okay. Let's look at the next one. And this is very foundational and very important, right? And that is your health. Your health, your health. Now, health is a foundational domain. Good health means looking after your body through what you eat, your exercise, getting quality sleep. In case you don't know, the amount of sleep that you find that you engage in determines how healthy you will be mentally. And so don't joke with your sleep at all. I have a course on that. Don't joke with your sleep at all. A healthy body provides a strong foundation for your own resilience so you can focus on your sense of purpose and goals. Good health is not the ultimate goal in itself, but instead it helps you achieve your larger personal vision. Healthy nutrition, I can't overemphasize this. Eat healthy, eat healthy, eat healthy, and eat regularly. It's not just enough that you eat, but eat healthy. It's not just enough that you eat healthy, but it's also important that you eat regularly. Have a routine. Don't just eat aimlessly. Have a routine. Have a routine. Have a routine. Quality sleep. I mean, I've talked about that. Quality sleep is very important. Lack of sleep results in more mistakes, reduced attention span, and a decreased ability to deal with stress. So you need to have quality sleep. This affects you over time. And so you get to work and you are not even feeling yourself. You are not enjoying the work. You're never able to perform to your optimum best. All right. Practice regular exercise. Practice regular exercise. Now, what's great about these domains is that we absolutely have the capacity to build and improve every domain and therefore develop our resilience. Resilience is a lifelong and ongoing journey for us. And our effort right here improves quality of life and directly contributes to the achievement of our personal goals. So you need to understand that we have the ability to go through this resilience. We have the ability to go through this domain. We can improve on them. We can grow better at them and become better persons because we have that strength in us. And the moment you're able to do that, okay, able to perform your optimum best are the things that you really want to do because you'd have put yourself into it and you'd have performed better at it. All right, we're almost done. So that is that about resilience for tonight, right? You have looked at resilience tonight and we're able to see why it is important for us to actually practice resilience. Let me stop sharing my screen. If you have enjoyed this so far, can you just put in the comment section, let me know that you have been here and that you've been having fun and you've been enjoying yourself and I have learned a thing or two. Let me know, let me know, let me know. Let me know, let me know, let me know. So I'm wrapping up, but there is a video I want to show you. There's a video I want to show you. There's a video I want to show you. I'm wrapping up. I'm wrapping up. So I want you to know that you can, I want to know that you can actually reach out to me, okay, and book your coaching session, right? But I have a free offer for you. I have a free offer for you. If you're not in the Telegram group, you may not get this offer, right? You may not get this offer if you're not in the Telegram group, which is why you need to join the Telegram group. If you're not there, you may just be missing. So I want to share a video with you right now. And with that, would come to the end of this. So let me play this now. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, so I saw a question here that says, we do hear about sleeping well. What do we really mean by this? For a person who is committed to some wholesome responsibility to catch up with, won't do 8 hours of sleep. All right, so yes, I understand. But when we talk about sleeping well, so it's possible for you to sleep less than 8 hours, right? But you feel rested. Okay, now it's because it is recommended, those are recommendations, okay, for you to sleep and I mean for your body to pause, all right, and then gather the nutrient back for the next set of activities. But you see, yes, I understand that sometimes we find it difficult to sleep for that length of time, right? But it's absolutely important. And I know that what happens these days, people sleep for 6 hours, 5 hours, or thereabout, right? But even if you sleep for just those few hours, ensure that you sleep the best, all right, that you can, and ensure that the sleep is enjoyable. Don't It's not just about lying down in bed, but that the sleep is enjoyable, all right, and that you that the sleep is enjoyable and that you find it and how do I put it now, restful as well. So you wake up the next morning and you are energized. Not that you sleep and then you wake up the next morning and you feel tired and nobody even understands why you're tired, right? So that's basically the most important thing. If you can't get the 8 hours sleep because of your work schedule, ensure that no matter the hours that you get, you sleep well, okay, and you are well rested. All right, so that will be all for tonight. Thanks for joining me and thanks for tuning in. This will be available, all right, and you can always still come back to watch it right here. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe before you leave here right now. The subscription button is just below by your right as you're watching. So just subscribe and share with other people. Thank you. We'll do this very soon again. Bye for now.